I should say, quite fond of them. Ooh, but stepping stones, stepping stones. We've reintroduced 3-player spawn maps, and then if it's accepted, I should say, then 4-player map. We'll get there. Maybe copium. For now, we're settling into our grand finals, into our best of 5, and spawning in the bottom hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is herO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg representing Gaming Gladiators. It is SHIN. Here we go. Whirlwind was a masterpiece. Yo, I was a big fan of Catalina. Was Catalina like one of the last 3-player spawn maps? Hoi hoi hoi, for those that remember. Ay. There was Catalina. There was another one that I can't quite recall from that era of StarCraft. I can't quite put my finger on it. Cactus Valley, that's it. Cactus Valley. I think that was also a 3-player spawn map. Good times, good times. But now though, Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of SHIN. Meanwhile, herO going for the gate expand. Here we go. Oh, as I should also set up the TL event as well. But now those standard openers. Again, welcome one and all to one of those largest map in the map pool. Welcome all to Abyssal Reef. As a result, very defendable on 2, 3, 4 bases. The initial starting map was predetermined, so we are forcing the players onto Abyssal Reef. Whether they like it or not, they have to play on it, and we could see a bit of a longer game as a result. It is quite difficult to be aggressive on this map, very difficult to be aggressive. Despite that, we have seen some success. If you recall, the last time we were on Abyssal Reef, we saw it was SHIN versus Ryung, and SHIN was able to sneak out a Spire and go for a Muta switch and catch Ryung completely with his pants down. The pants, they were down completely, and the Mutas, they just wreaked havoc, and from there SHIN did snowball into a win, but that was heavily reliant on the fact that the Spire was hidden. The Spire was unscouted, which is why he snowballed out of control. To be fair, that is also viable on this map and also viable in this matchup. In ZVP, it is not uncommon to see like a hidden Spire and go into mass Muta. It is an option available to SHIN, but we'll see if he can get away with something like that. Alas, herO is typically on point when it comes to scouting, when it comes to reacting, when it comes to figuring out what SHIN is up to. But now, Stargate. Stargate opener out of herO. So far, going for a standard start. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Why? We have pneumatized carapace on the way for SHIN. Is this just for scouting? No shot. No, this is crazy. As we can see here, he's hunting down a second Overlord as well. SHIN with the question mark. Leave my Overlords alone, baby. Leave me alone. He's gonna get it. Oh, Unamas. One more. He gets it. Overlord goes down. Massive pick off supply block SHIN. SHIN is supply blocked. Void Ray has arrived. The Overlord, it is for an Overlord scout. Crazy. This is very inefficient, by the way. This is often never seen. SHIN, he dives into the main with pneumatized carapace with Overlord speed. And yes, and here he sees Overlord speed. He's like, what? What are you doing? Like this is not a thing. Does escape though. Does get away. I spoke too soon. And SHIN is behind. SHIN, he is behind. So for SHIN to invest into Overlord speed, but to still lose 2 Overlords is brutal. It is a brutal start here for SHIN. That was a big investment gas-wise, big investment mineral-wise as well. There's the reason why herO was question marking SHIN. And that wasn't quite worth it. And here behind this, he's rushing into a Fleet and let's go! Tempest rush. We're rushing into Tempest production. Now SHIN does have a third Overlord moving out to scout. Typically the Void Ray would deny the scout, but this Overlord should be able to get into the main. SHIN, he should have eyes on what's going on. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. As the Overlord is diving into the main. And again, so far SHIN is in the dark. SHIN has no idea what's happening. He's droning, he's saturating his bases, getting into his 3-base saturation. Overlord is on the way, and the Void Ray is out of position. So SHIN, he should scout this. As the Oracle does get eyes on the Overlord. And herO, he should respond. Despite that, though, I believe he's out of position, and I believe the Overlord should get in. Tempest production has begun. And the Overlord will confirm. It does get in, does get eyes on the Tempest, sees a fleet beacon as well. Now, what's important here is that this is a classic variation. I don't mean classic as in old school, I mean classic as in the player classic. This is only one Stargate. Only one Stargate for herO. So this is not a commitment into Sky Toss. This is a light commitment into Tempest, into a ground switch. We are hard switching into ground toss, into +1, into, I would imagine, charge instead, into a gateway composition. And if SHIN overreacts, if he over-responds to the Tempest, then he's going to be caught out. Oh boy. SHIN back at home, so far just saturating, joining on up. Void Ray looking for another Overlord. As we said, Lynn, a big shout out to Hyper1. Gah, baby God. Thank you so much, Hyper1, for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great, I'm assuming, ladder session, maybe like a map making session. Regardless, hope you had a great time, and welcome one and all to the grand finals of OlimoLeague. It's been a long cast, papi. We're 7 hours into the broadcast. We finally made it to the grand finals. Fresh best of 5 is ready for you, and we're embracing it here and now. Tempest has arrived. We have a Spire on the way already for SHIN. And here he is hoping that SHIN overmakes Corruptors. If he makes too many Corruptors, they're gonna be for naught. They're gonna be useless. They're gonna be dead supply, because there is literally only one Tempest. And I'm sure SHIN, he must be suspicious. He must be thinking to himself, hold up, where's the other Tempest? Like, what's going on? Like, why is there only one? That should be a sign here. That should be a tell. Behind this, again, +1, charge, gateway explosion, into Archons, into Storm as well. Mothership's on the way to support. SHIN is teching, Infestation Bit's on the way. He built up a handful of roaches. And the hallucinations are here to scout. They dive into the main. And they should get eyes on the tech of choice. There we go, they get eyes on the Spire, they get eyes on the Hydrogen as well. Oh, sorry, that's the Infestation Bit. Regardless, they get eyes on the Spire. But I appreciate that there is a Hydrogen on the way. And SHIN, he's not making, oh, no, never mind. He is making Corruptors. Okay, only 5, that's okay, that's okay. Only 5 Corruptors, that is an acceptable amount, considering that it is 1 Tempest and 1 Mothership as well. The Corruptors, they have their place. 10 Corruptors, though. That is a bigger investment here by SHIN. That is concerning. The more Corruptors he makes, the more concerned I am. Not like this. Meanwhile, shout out to Ariel Mortis in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gifted sub to Begoeta. Oh my god. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy what we have here on the Cranky Ducklings. Quack. Quack, quack, quack. Thank you so much. As we do see, thankfully, SHIN is taking into Lurkers. And did invest into 10 Corruptors, which is concerning to me, but regardless, is switching into Hydra Lurker tech. Meanwhile, herO likewise switching into... What is happening? What is happening this game? Like, I don't, what? Tempest into Mothership is fine, into Ground Toss in time, into Anion Pulse Crystals, into Phoenix Range and Phoenix Production? Why? Basically, it looks like herO, he's getting ready for Mutas. This looks like a hard counter for Mutas, but it's Corruptor instead, so a bit of a misread here by herO. Thankfully, herO only makes 1 Phoenix. It wasn't too big of an investment. Corruptors have arrived. And is there enough anti-air? There is. Corruptors, they get turned away. Upon seeing all the Corruptors, herO should not make any more Phoenixes. He has the production for it, but shouldn't make any more. But that was a big investment here to deal with Mutas that never arrived. I mean, we spoke about Mutas in the lead up to the first game, and we spoke about how it is viable here on Abyssal Reef. So this tells me that herO, he's probably died to SHIN's Mutas before. That's what this feels like. The mind games. I mean, that's what happens when 2 players that are very familiar with each other play against each other, right? They're good friends. I'm sure they practice together as well. herO, he does move out. He's got a massive swarm of Zealots getting into all the Roaches, getting into the Hydras. Where are the Lurkers? Where is the splash damage? That's herO, he doesn't quite commit. Lurkers are now morphing in. How many? There's going to be 3 Lurkers so far. 3 more on the way, 6 in total. herO, he's poking forward. Lurker gets denied. There is no Storm. Bear that in mind, there is no Storm. The army does dive in. Getting on some of the Roaches. The Lurkers are a little bit too far back. Mothership tanking a lot of shots. But I believe SHIN, he should be able to hold on. I say that. There is detection. Oh, there is not. Yeah, no detection of the lurkers. They hold the line. And herO, he has to back off. Gets under the corruptors. Nicely done. Does get under the corruptors. The Tempest does live. herO rebuilding that mothership. But SHIN holds. And SHIN maintains his economy. And we'll see where herO goes from here. Does he go into something more committed on the ground? Storm just now starting. Storm feels really late. It's really late Storm. It feels like herO intended to end the game with that move out, and he didn't. He wasn't expecting that many lurkers. And again, so like really fortunate here that SHIN had teched into lurkers when he did. And with that SHIN, he's snowballing out of control. herO, he's not ready for the lurker tech. The army gets caught out. herO, he is exposed. Gets caught out in the open. And he should lose everything here. He does have a recall, true. Could try to recall out of here. He's going to trade as best he can. The Archons go down. At the same time, Stellaron into the mineral line. SHIN out of position. Drones are falling. Oh, yeah, they dive into the gas geyser. The workers, they're so very low. SHIN just does chase down the main army. 8 drones going down. It could have been so much worse. So many of these workers are deep in the red, but they live. They survive. Meanwhile, back into Tempest, back into Skytos. But herO needs time. Like, this is an awkward transition into a late game composition. Because herO lost so much, he lost too much. And he's vulnerable. Corruptors, they hit the 4th. Ling Lurker into the natural. Knocking down pylons, busting into the natural itself. The storms, they try to send away the Lings. They collapse into the High Templar. Massive storm does connect, but just the one storm. SHIN, he breaks through his snowballing out of control, busts into the base. herO going for a desperation counterattack. The Zealots are doing damage, don't get me wrong. But SHIN, he's going for the main. He's going for the main base. Getting on top of the production. There are 2 Tempests. Cloak is activated. 3rd Tempest has arrived. Can herO hold out? It's just an awkward defense. He is split up. He is spread out. Tempest goes down. And the Cloak is about to run out. It is about to run out at this point. Lurkers, they just cut off the ground army from the main. And Hydras, they bust in. He busts into the main base. Still a bit of an awkward trade here. SHIN unable to fully engage. But behind this, he's just reinforcing. He's just reinforcing with Roaches, with Hydras. Takes down the fleet beacon, or at least he should. Oh, barely does. And SHIN may lose this army, but here come those reinforcements just in time to deal with at least the Immortals. Storm on the ramp, nicely done. The Tempests are trading well, but it's really just a Tempest. SHIN making his way into the main. Going for the Stargate, the Zealots, they run through the Lurkers. Oh, the contamination! Contamination on the Stargate, you love to see it. And here he's gonna hold. He will hold on, but he lost so much in the process. He lost his natural, he lost a lot of his production, his tech. The fleet beacon went down. SHIN just has to calm down, consolidate his forces, and get ready for a more committed attack. Rotates towards the 4th. There's the 2nd Cloak. Second Cloak is activated. SHIN being forced back. So he pulls away. herO forced to go into massive Void Ray. I mean, what else can he make? He has no fleet beacon. Void Ray production has begun. herO just making whatever he can. I mean, the Tempest count is impressive. And there are a lot of storms. Corruptors, they go for the dive. Roaches as well, they're going for the High Templar. Storms get forced out. Jeez, that's a lot of storms. But the mothership falls. The mothership finally falls, and SHIN, he has finally done it. He breaks the back of herO. Takes down the mothership, the remaining Void Rays, the remaining Tempest. And here we just cannot recover. He cannot keep up, not after losing those bases, and not after the start of the game as well. Remember, it was a wild start. herO going into early Tempest, into like a ground switch, into Phoenixes, into an early move out, but he ran into Lurkers. Remember, he moved out without Storm. Just a very chaotic game here out of herO, and despite all the flips, despite all the tricks, nah, fell on its face. As here, he's down to half a base economy. As he cannot resaturate. And GG gets called. SHIN takes game number 1. Whew, GG. That was what? Remember, that started with Overlord speed. That started with Overlord speed out of SHIN. And it started with SHIN and herO just question marking each other. They didn't know what the hell was going on. GG. GG, well played. SHIN does take a lead in the series, and what a way to start the finals. I feel like we've set a tone. We've set the tone for things to come. I'm not sure if I'm ready. Game 2, it's herO's map of choice. Remember, no vetoes. We're going for another large map, which means we could see something similar here up next. Neon Violet Square. Let's go. This map is known for Skytoss. It's known for rushing to Skytoss. It's known for securing yourself on your 5-base setup to getting into just Mass Tempest, into Mothership, into Carrier. But I feel like after seeing the attempt of that in Game 1, I can't imagine herO's going to go for another rush into a Fleet Beacon here in Game 2, right? Right? Maybe. We're going to find out. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Neon Violet Square, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Weibo Gaming. Down in the series, we'll see what his plan is. On the largest map in the map pool, it is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Gaiman Gladiators. Leading the series 1-0. It is SHIN. Here we go. Oh my, he's crazy. As SHIN, he rushes into the gold. Let's go. See, this is why we love SHIN. You know, SHIN, he's not the most standard player. He's very aggressive, very in your face, very unorthodox as well. Just rush into the gold. Why not, Pappy? Why not? Let's go. That's herO. He does come in with a pro scout. He confirms there's nothing quite in the main, not yet. And we'll see how long it takes for herO to realize what's happening. We'll see. Oh boy. Cannon rush! The forge has been placed. herO, he's going for the gate into cannon rush into a macro opener. So this is not committed, but herO, he's looking for the base. He's looking to figure out, he's like, I want to cannon you. Where's your base? Where's the expansion? What's going on? Now he should realize. He saw the transferring workers, and the second probe has arrived. He's going for the gold. The pylon gets placed. The cannon rush is upon us. Let's go. Now the boys are already here to help out at least. They get us around on the pylon. The Zealot is on the way. As a reminder, remember, gate into Forge, into Cybercore. There is a Nexus behind this. This is not an all-in. The goal here, there's a quote-unquote macro cannon rush. The goal is to force the cancels, to kill the natural, but the hatchery's done. The drones are here. The cannon rush is denied, and SHIN is ahead. SHIN, he doesn't just deny the cannon rush. Remember, here, he hasn't even expanded. This is a very late base because of the Forge. Everything's late. Everything is delayed, and the cannon rush fails. As the hatchery gets up and running, the creep has spread, and SHIN, he's in a good position. He's in a very good position here. herO finally going to be expanding. It is a late Nexus. The Zealot has arrived. The Zealot gets surrounded. Oh, the probe goes down first. And this is a rough position for herO. The world is SHIN's oyster. He can do whatever he wants. Oh boy. I mean, it isn't just about the failed cannon rush, it's about the goal base. That's what's terrifying here. The goal base is up and running. The goal base will not be punished. SHIN, he's amassing lings. He's moving out. Where's the defensive cannon? No, herO! There's no defensive cannon. There's nothing at home. Lings, they do slip in. They get into the main. Now, there's only a handful of them, so here he can work a micro against this. One probe goes down. Denying mining time. From here, he can turn back around. More lings are not amassing. So if SHIN wanted to, honestly, you could just link flood. Honestly, this setup is so vulnerable to a link flood. But SHIN is droning. SHIN, he is droning up. So herO is safe. He could be abused, but for now, he's safe and sound. Only 2 probe kills. herO, he defends. And SHIN is taking a third. He's taking a third base. He's droning up. He is making some lings, don't get me wrong, and he has potential. I'm still concerned about the lack of SimCity here. herO, there we go. Gateway gets thrown down, and the wall is set up. Didn't need any cannons, apparently. I do feel like SHIN could have punished this, though, but opted not to. And we could stabilize. From here, we can stabilize. As herO, he's saturating and getting into a Stargate. SHIN is still in a better position, don't get me wrong. But herO, he moves out, and SHIN, he misses the Adepts. SHIN, he's going for the natural. He doesn't care. He's trying to knock down that front door. He will take down the Zealot at least. The Zealot does fall. Adepts were forced back home. They were forced back. Behind this, SHIN is saturating. Still trying to drone up. Still a very tense and very awkward game state is what I will say. It's still very awkward. It is going to be an Oracle opener out of herO. And SHIN, he's going for an early Roach Warren. Okay. He's going to be opening up Roach. And I like watching these two players, I feel uneasy. I don't know where we are right now, Papi. I don't know. Adepts, they bypass the main army. They're spotted by the Overlords. Headed towards the gold. SHIN, he's racing back home. herO, he commits. Does commit in. Shaves off the lings. The Adepts are trading well. So far, they are trading well. SHIN, he does get us around. Takes out 2 Adepts. 2 Adepts do fall, forcing a recall. SHIN defends. At the same time, Oracle hits the gold. Queen's out of position. 4 drones go down. Not bad. herO, he's still in this. Getting a 5th, getting almost a 6th drone. And there are no spores. There are no spores here in the main. 7 drones go down. Spores, now they begin after the damage has been done. And SHIN, he's still trying to be active with these lings. But now there's a shield battery. These lings, they're not really worth it here. herO is getting a 3rd base. Remember, the Pocket expansion is safe and sound. So SHIN, he cannot punish this 3rd. Which means all these lings, they're kind of dead supply. Yeah, they are dead supply. These lings, they could have been workers. At least most of them. Not all of them. Had to defend against the Adepts, of course. But SHIN, he has some catching up to do. He's droning up, taking his 3rd. Should be working towards a 4th base momentarily. And we're getting into the mid-game. That is a 2nd Stargate. 2nd Stargate and a 2nd Forge. The 2nd Forge is throwing me off a little bit. I don't know if that's intentional. I don't know if herO forgot that he started with a cannon rush. There we go. +1 on the way. Ah, he's going to let it finish. There we go. There's a cancel. There we go. He realizes he does already have his own Forge. Does cancel the 2nd, getting into a Twilight Council. Double Stargate into Mass Phoenix. What are we going for? Meanwhile, Spire is on the way for SHIN. The Oracles move out. Jesus, that's going to be 4 Oracles. Fleet Beacons on the way. +1 air attack. He's going to Sky Toss. We mentioned before that Neo Violet Square is known for Sky Toss. It's known for just rushing into that kind of composition just because you're so safe on 3 bases. But this is still just a really awkward game state. Like, despite the fact that it is defendable on 3 bases, like, it's just so weird. Because of the gold, because of the early game, the Oracles, they have arrived. Not getting much done yet. The Queens are keeping up. Overseer dives in, gets eyes on the 2nd Stargate. SHIN, he knows. Lings, they attempt to surround the don't quite get in the depth. But with this Spire, there's options. We could still try to go into mass muta, even though we're rushing into carriers. With a high enough muta count, a low carrier number can't really do much here. Or it could just be Corruptor. But now, Hydra upgrades on the way. Do see SHIN embracing Hydra production. +1 air attack as well, setting up those upgrades. Saturating his 3rd. Getting up to 66 workers. Getting up to 66. But SHIN is still recovering. He still has to focus on upgrades. First Evo Chamber still on the way for +1. Again, it's just been such a chaotic game, and we're stumbling our way into the mid game here. but we're settling down. Now the question becomes, can herO expand and take a fourth? This fourth base is quite secure, and it is going to be a little bit easier to hold on to. Same with this low ground fourth as well. So fourth and fifth base, herO should be able to take, but it's going to be on SHIN to try to make him work for it. To try to delay. Usually the base that is difficult to take on Neo Violet Square is the 6th. The 6th base is more exposed, but your 4 and 5 base setup is pretty secure. SHIN, he's knocking down those rocks, trying to gain access to the would-be 5th. Carriers are revealed. Corruptor production has begun. We see herO going to be diversifying his army and going to be investing to a ground force as well. Bays on the way for Colossus, for Disruptors. Personally, I would prefer Storm. And I mean, he's going for both the Bay and the Temple Archives, but it's going to take a while to really tech up. As herO moves out with the 4 Oracles. First Colossus on the way. Oh, Stasis goes up. SHIN, he attempts to dive. Nice force fields. Slowing down the army. And the Hydras, they get choked up. Corruptors, they do dive on top of the carrier. The first carrier should be going down, and there's not enough anti-air. Only a handful of Stalkers. Second carrier going to fall. Where's the Storm? Where's the splash damage? Hydras, they're pushing in. And the Stasis traps are running out. SHIN, he's forced back. And he's too far ahead. Yeah, SHIN, he's too far ahead at this point. He will break through the defensive line. The carrier count was reset. Again, it was just it's just been a really awkward game. Hydras, they step forward. They take down both of the Immortals. And again, there's no splash damage. 0 splash damage. The first Colossus finally arrives. It arrives to go down to the Corruptors. And SHIN, he does it. He breaks the 4th base after a failed cannon rush into this. SHIN, he breaks through. He breaks through. Took advantage of the gold base, of course. Takes down the mineral line. And herO has nothing left. At this point, there's nothing left here to defend. As there is that one Colossus here at the natural, so herO, he can hold on 3 bases. Corruptors, they're going for the Bay. No shot. They shouldn't be able to stop it, yeah. The Bay will survive. And SHIN, he can afford to trade a little bit inefficiently. Taking down the gateway. Going for +2. Does deny. Nice force fields here out of herO. Shuts down the Hydras. SHIN gets forced back. Oh, here come the Mutas. Let's go. The Muta switch is finally here with +1. I mean, now what is the anti-air? There's Colossus, there's no more carriers, there's no Sky Toss. There are some Blink Stalkers, that is true, with +1. But this is not going to be enough to deal with the mass Muta that's coming. And to be honest, the Mutas aren't even necessary. Like, at this point, SHIN, he can max out with anything. He can max out with Ling Hydra, with Roaches, with whatever he wants. Storm is not done. Storm is halfway done at this point, so yeah, there's no dealing with this army. I mean, the Colossus, they hold their own, true. Colossus, they trade well. Mutas that have arrived, they bust into the main, and they're just pulling herO apart. The pants are down, papi. They were never on. In this game, no shot. They would no one was wearing any pants, not even SHIN. No one, papi, no one. As 20 workers do fall. Haha. Storm is going to finish eventually, but the Mutas are just pulling herO apart. SHIN working up towards that center expansion, but there is a wall of Colossus and Storm. Hydras are going to melt here. They cannot engage. As from here, SHIN, he does have to calm down. Pulling back. Does he have a Lurker Den? The answer is no, which is a little bit concerning. There's no Lurker Den for SHIN. herO, he's at this point, I wouldn't be opposed to him just moving out across the map and just going all in. Oh no, the High Templar! No, the High Templar! Storm's going to be going up, but High Templar they go caught out. And the High Templar count is reset. No more Storms. Diving on the Colossi. He gets one. He's going to get two. He's going to get all three. Oh god, the Archon volley though. Jesus, the splash damage is insane. And here comes the ground forces of SHIN just picking herO apart. The Muse did their job. No more splash damage. Now Hydra's they reign supreme. As SHIN stutter steps forward. Takes down the Stalkers. Rallies on in. And GG gets called. SHIN, he does take the lead here. Takes down herO and takes a 2-0 advantage in the series. GG. Whew, GG, well played. SHIN, he is now one game away from becoming this week's OlimoLeague champion. herO, he's up against the wall. The pressure is on. He has to fight back here and now to have a chance of forcing the ace smash. Now, what I will say, both game 1 and game 2, these have been some crazy games. These have not been standard whatsoever. As a reminder, if you maybe tuned in a little bit late, game 1, if you remember, we had the question mark game where SHIN rushed into Overlord speed, where he lost 2 Overlords, and then herO, he rushed into a Fleet Beacon, into 1 Stargate, into 1 Tempest, into Ground Toss, into double Stargate. It made no sense. We had a really chaotic game 1. Game 2, goal base, herO responded with a cannon rush, but it was a late scout. herO, he wanted to cannon rush the natural. He was forced to go for a delayed cannon rush at the goal base. The cannon rush was denied, which led into kind of like carrier transition, but not really. It was crazy. It was crazy. And with that leads us into game 3. Let's go. Game 3 here. I'm hoping for a back and forth. You know, this series has been fun. I mean, I always have a lot of fun casting herO and SHIN. They're always a great treat to cover and to cast and to embrace. I would love to see a game 4 and a game 5, but the pressure is now on herO as it is his map of choice. Up next, we're going to be loading into Amygdala. Let's go. Does make sense. I would imagine if we could, we would be seeing maps like Ultra Love or maps like King's Cove, but Ultra Love and King's Cove, they are not in this map pool for this week. For those that are curious, it is loser's pick, but to help alleviate that, the tournament OlimoLeague has gotten rid of some of these maps. So players cannot play on Ultra Love, they cannot play on King's Cove, they cannot play on Whispers of Gold either. That is why those 3 maps that I mentioned, you have not seen them at all in today's broadcast, as they have been removed from the map pool for this week's OlimoLeague. And instead, we find ourselves on Amygdala. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Weibo Gaming. Down in this series, he has to fight back here and now. To make a series out of this, it is herO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player from South Korea representing Gunman Gladiators, 1 game away from becoming our champion this week for OlimoLeague. It is SHIN. Here we go. Oh boy. Where are we dropping? What's going on? I don't even know anymore. For now, hatch gas pool. Everything looks normal. Hatch gas pool opener out of SHIN. Everything looks as it should. Back at home, here we're going for a gate expand. Now, coming into Amygdala, so far the maps that we've seen chosen by herO are larger maps. It does feel like herO wants breathing room more than anything. He wants to make his opponent back the hell off, get into the mid game and embrace Sky Toss. That's what it seems to be here, based on game 1 and game 2. Amygdala is also a large map in the map pool, long rush distance by ground, very defendable early on. The reason why I say early on, as we mentioned before, as the game progresses, as we get into the mid game, that's when players start knocking down the rocks. And once the rocks get knocked down, then suddenly the map opens up. It opens up, it becomes a lot more maneuverable, it becomes a lot more easy to rotate between the bases and to apply pressure and to go back and forth and to pull apart the defending player. The map does open up quite heavily in a longer game, but in the early to mid game, less so. It is more defendable. So there is that give and take here. And we'll see if herO can stabilize and get into the mid game in a way that he so chooses, as it's just been a really chaotic early game, both in game 1 and in game 2. Stargate. It is going to be a Stargate opener for herO. He just wants to get into 3-way saturation. That's all he wants. And he hasn't really gotten there yet. Not properly. It's been crazy. No. Now the Stargate has been placed. SHIN getting his third, investing into link speed, pulling out of gas, nothing crazy, everything looking normal from the side of the Zerg player, and normal from the side of the Protoss. From here, herO should be opening up Oracle back at home. Now, based on how this series has been playing out, I wouldn't be opposed to a Void Ray opener just to keep SHIN in the dark, just to keep him guessing, but herO doesn't take that chance. Oracle is going to be the Oracle instead. Here we go. As here he is being active, moving out and threatening shades with these adepts. Remember, 2 adepts, they can one-shot workers, so this is something that has to be respected. SHIN, he's keeping up. So far, so good. herO reinforcing with those oracles. Threatening a dive into the natural. Queens are in position. The Spore is not, and here he gets 1, he gets 2 drone kills. Takes a bit of hull damage, but not too bad. 2 workers go down. Here he does 9 mining here at the 3rd. Yeah, just wreaking havoc, just trying to apply some pressure, but no major losses yet. No major pickups. 2nd Oracle has arrived, 3rd Oracle's on the way, and here he expands, he takes his 3rd. So far, this looks like, for the first time in this series, a standard opener. Triple Oracle into a 3rd base, into Forge, and Twilight Council into +1 and Blink. herO, he's playing standard. He's crazy. He's playing normally. He's lost his mind. The Oracles get zoned away. They get 3 more drone kills, but they do survive. And there it is. There's that Twilight Council and the Forge, as we did mention. Again, 3rd base into Twilight Council into Forge, +1, Blink, into your 3 base economy, into splash damage, either Colossus or Storm. Everything so far is looking as it should in a PvZ, in a meta PvZ. You know, we had our fun in Game 1 and Game 2, and herO, he has been humbled. herO now taking it a little bit more seriously, in a sense. But he's like, I just wanted to flex a little bit. It's like, no. You're crazy. Oracles get forced back. Is going to be the safety Roach Warren for SHIN. Oracle dipping behind the mineral lines. And it looks like he will find some damage here at the natural, going for the stasis. Stasis goes off. SHIN, he pulls away in time. Across the map, he threatens the 3rd, but last hero's in position. He's defensive. He holds. He defends. herO, he's good to go. He's good to saturate the 3rd. There's a tech of choice, as we mentioned. And the next big sign for herO is going to be how many gateways does he throw down? And does he take extra gases? Does he tech into splash damage? Into Colossus or Storm? Does he head in that direction? For now, he's staying on a lower gateway count. He's getting up to 6. Does have a 6-gate setup. Is pushing towards the 3rd. And again, he did expand towards his opponents. The rush distance by ground is quite short here. Is herO willing to go for a 3-base all-in? So far, still in the 6 gates. Svat poking in, shaves off some lings, takes down some of the queens. Forcing SHIN back. And herO, he's gaining ground, getting some of the queens, gets 1. 1 queen goes down. The stasis are set. And Blink is about to kick in. Remember, this is all without Blink. Here he wants the queens. He will get a 2nd. Oh, barely not. Queen goes down. Stasis goes up. And SHIN's in trouble. He's being broken. The links do nothing. The queens are exposed. And herO, he's gaining more ground. Very efficient trade so far. The herO not losing a single stalker. herO not losing anything. Takes out the roaches. Gets some of the queens. And SHIN, he's being broken. SHIN, things are looking bleak here for him. Once again, nice blinks out of herO. Again, only losing adepts for 30 lings, 3 queens, and 4 roaches. herO, he reinforces. 2 more gates behind this. Yeah, it's going to be 8 gates. It's going to be an 8-gate setup here. So basically, 3 base all in. 3 base all in. There's the 8th gateway behind this. It's just purely Blink Stalker. Pure Blink Stalker out of herO. No other tech, no other splash damage. His goal here is to break SHIN here and now. And SHIN, he's barely holding on. Did mass up some Hydras. The Hydras have a mass. They can trade a little bit more efficiently against Stalkers. The Blinks are still on point. Has herO lost a Stalker? He lost one. One Stalker has gone down. Ay, ay, ay. Maybe two? Up. Up. No, not quite. There we go. Second Stalker falls. Lings are going down. The Stalker control here is insane. And here he breaks through the Queens once again and breaking through the defensive line. There are a couple of Hydras remaining. Stalkers are very low. But here he's done it. Yeah, he has done it. He has broken through. The 3-way all-in has been successful. GG gets called. And herO puts a point on the board. GG. GG, well played. herO does put a point on the board here. Very, very aggressive style. Again, it was an 8-gate 3-base all-in out of herO, especially when you expand towards your opponent. There's just very little time for SHIN to react, to respond. He was trying to build up. The stage traps were brutal. The stage traps were very efficient, very effective. They made sure that the Lings weren't really a factor, which means he was losing Hydras, losing Roaches, losing Queens, losing high-tech units, and eventually, SHIN was overwhelmed. SHIN, he was overwhelmed then and there. And we have a series, we have a back and forth, we have at least a game 4. Let's go. Now it is, of course, SHIN's map of choice. Oh boy, SHIN, where are we headed, where are we dropping? We have the answer. I mean, we saw him embrace the gold base on Neon Violet Square, so why not do that again? We're going to be loading into El Dorado. Let's go. Let us go. A very short rush distance by air. We have seen Protoss players, many a Protoss player, rush into Skytoss on this map. I'm curious if herO is tempted to do so. Until then, though, we're diving on in and spawning in the bottom-hand corner of El Dorado. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Gatman Gladiators, one game away from becoming this week's OlimoLeague champion. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player from South Korea representing Weibo Gaming, WBG, putting a point on the board, but he has to win this game to force the ace match. It is herO. Here we go. As we are going to be settling in. herO forcing the unnatural natural. SHIN coming with the drone. Up! Oh, can he get it? Oh, barely not. Ooh, slick moves there out of herO. Does deny the expansion. And SHIN forced to expand elsewhere. Is forced to expand here at the linear third location. So nice start from herO, just forcing a more inefficient beginning here from SHIN. A more inefficient start as he's settling into his own hatch gas pool. And again, as we settle into El Dorado, there are certain features of this map that make things quite interesting here. First thing, of course, is we have the gold mineral wall that you can mine through. You can expand towards your opponent, and you can, of course, reduce the time it takes to get across the map as a result. Likewise, even if you don't mine through these minerals, the rush distance by air is quite short as well. We've seen herO, Classic, Max Packs, and all the top Protoss players have gone into Tempest rushes at some point or another on El Dorado. I don't know if herO wants to, though. Based on the course of this series, after game 1 and after game 2, it's possible that maybe herO, he's gotten that Fleet Beacon rush out of his system, and maybe he's done with it. You know, like, it hasn't really been working out for him, hasn't been too successful. I do think that it is more viable here on El Dorado, especially if you want to be safe on your 2 and 3 base setup. But, yeah, it's possible that after the course of this series, herO, he's just gonna calm things down and go for more standard builds instead. And he may have been humbled. It's possible. As SHIN is going to be saturating his linear base, joining on up. Based on the base that has been taken as well, I doubt that SHIN's going to take the gold or take the southern bases anytime soon. Maybe as a fourth, maybe. On top of that, if both players did expand towards each other, and if SHIN was working towards this triangular third base, then that's where something like a 3-base all-in, the same build that herO just went for in the last game, can hit very hard if both players did expand towards each other, just because the time it takes to go from base to base is so short that you're able to reinforce that much faster and just snowball out of control We've seen plenty of successful 8k 3-base all-ins on El Dorado as well. Just making use of how small the map is. But now the Adept does shade in between the bases, gets one drone. Not a bad start. Here, just going to be distracted by those things, trying to keep up. Shin slipping by, going for a scout. Alas, the probe does get here in time, and does fully wall off. As herO did open Stargate into Oracle, second, third Oracle on the horizon. So far, everything looking normal, everything looking standard from the side of herO. And we'll keep an eye on Shin. Keep an eye on him. Third base now on the way. Shin just droning up, just saturating. Ooh, that is an early Twilight Council. Okay, early Twilight Council out of herO. This could be one of two things. This could either be fast Glaive Adepts for hyper aggression or fast Blink, even faster than last game, to be more assertive early on, to apply pressure, and to potentially follow it up with another 3-base all-in. So we'll see what it's going to be, fast Blink or fast Glaives. I'm leaning towards Blink, just because of the kind of player that herO is, but we'll see. We shall see. This is also lined up in such a way where if Shin went for a 2-base all-in, if he went for like a Queen Walk or a German Taxi across the map, Blink would finish in time to defend. And there it is going to be fast Blink. Now, the downside here, well, I mean, there's two kind of approaches to this. Because the Twilight Council is so fast, Blink finishes up so quickly, and you can take advantage of that Blink timing a lot faster as well as the aggressing Protoss player. The downside, this build delays your Forge and delays your +1, which means in a longer game state, coming into the mid-game, coming into the late game, your upgrades are going to be later than they otherwise would be. They're going to be behind in upgrades. So the pressure is going to be on herO to make something happen with this early Blink. There we go, much later Forge. Ling's a threat and a dive. hero's being active. He moves out across the map, gets a drone. He gets one, he gets two. Two workers going down. Nice hull damage on that first Oracle. herO is zoned away. Shin is getting a safety Roach Warren, so he's not going purely Ling Hydra. Has access to Roaches. Does have access. Blink is almost done. herO should be moving out. And we'll see if he can deny the fourth. As herO does move out across the map. Hunting for Overlords, I would imagine. Reinforcements on the way. Overlord is found. And as Shin is losing Overlords, we do see a big Link counterattack here towards the third base. Out of the shield battery and the cannon is ready. Shin gets supply blocked. herO pushing forward. Oh! Decent stasis. Catches 3 of those probes. 3 workers get caught out. The Oracle goes down. Massive pickoff. Yeah, herO does overextend with the Oracle. And with that, he has that much less here to defend his army. Here he goes poking in. Roaches have arrived. Again, thankfully, Shinny did not skip Roach production. So far, nice control out of herO. Blinks well. Diving on the Roaches. Ooh, doesn't quite get them though. Flush Transfuse saves the first Roach. As one Roach goes down. He gets 1, he gets 2. So far, nice trades. Behind this herO, he is not going all in. He is going into charge. We have a gateway explosion behind this and a 4th base. So unlike the previous game, herO, he is poking, he is trading, but he is transitioning out of this. He is taking, I should say. Ooh, meanwhile, Shinny overextends. Roaches that get caught out. Massive pickoffs. Once again, very efficient trades here by herO. He's cutting off the army and he's going for the 4th. Can he get it? Can he knock it down? 3 more volleys. He's so close. He's going to get it. Yeah, he will get a kill. Hatchery goes down. Stasis goes off. And herO, he escapes. He gets away. And Shin, he's in a lot of trouble. He's down to 3 expansions. 3 bases down behind the base count of herO. Likewise, he's down in economy as well. Down in workers, down in bases. He's building up Roach Hydra, but he is struggling. And herO is still being active. Oh, is going to be forced back. His distraction stalkers finally are going down. Nice catch with these Lings. that's still a lot of links going down. And here he doesn't turn around. He commits. Hydra Rangers now finishing up. Will help. Some step forward. SHIN, he's holding the line. But the reality is the win condition for herO is deny the fourth. Just deny the fourth base over and over again, and SHIN will just run out of steam. I mean, already SHIN is struggling. As herO, he wants it. He wants the base. Dives in. One Stalker goes down. Finally some counter damage. At the same time, diving on the main army, diving on the Hydras. Bold move here by herO. He will be trading Stalkers for Hydras. Yeah, rough trade. Not the most efficient fight here from herO. Getting a little bit careless. Force back. Again, that was 10 Stalkers for 14 Hydras. Almost a one-to-one trade. As ideally you want to save those blinks to protect the Stalkers. Not to dive on the army. Not like this. Nice run by herO. By herO. Catching out a Queen. Getting even more. Once again, poking in. The Hydra count is yet to be reinforced. SHIN, once again, he's in trouble. Bleeding out Roaches, bleeding out Hydras. The Stalkers are getting very low, though. SHIN, he's holding on. But here behind this, he's on 82 probes. He has an insane economy. Ay. Just really missing another expansion. And here he's just getting further ahead. We have the Colossus on the way, the Bay as well with Extendable Lance. Extendable Lance is in production. +3, triple forge. Jesus, triple forge. I mean, that's how comfortable herO is. Zealot drop into the main. Stalkers a dive on the fourth. Once again, it's going to be shut down. SHIN just cannot expand. He's stuck perpetually on a 3-base economy, and that's just not good enough. At this point, SHIN's all in. At this point, he's completely all in. The longer this goes on, the worse it is. As SHIN is just being outscaled. He's just rallying everything across the map. And all herO has to do is survive. Easier said than done. As the Colossus is exposed, but falls back to the shield battery. We'll keep it up and running. The Roaches go down. And SHIN is just running out of steam. He's running out of units here. Moving in with a handful of Hydras. Second Colossus has arrived as well. SHIN starts his 40, gets one. One Colossus goes down. Doesn't quite get the second though. And GG gets called. herO, he survives. Heat snowballs out of control, punishing SHIN time and time again, never allowing him to expand. And herO ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. GG, well played. herO having a lot more success on these smaller maps with these more aggressive styles as well. Game 3, of course, with the 3-base all-in with Mass Blink Stalker. Game 4, we saw early Blink for early aggression, but remember, herO, he wasn't ever really going for the kill, but he was still out-trading SHIN, he was still out-controlling him, and he was able to, more importantly, deny the fourth. The moment that the fourth went down, that was almost game then and there. Like SHIN, he never established his fourth base, he never got it saturated, never got a chance to, really. And herO was just getting further ahead from there. GG. GG, well played. Whew, we are going all the way to the ace match, to game 5. It all ends here on Leylines. This is all I ever wanted. We had a back and forth. Things were looking bleak after the first 2 games. But the reality is it isn't just that herO is being more aggressive and more active early on, but herO's also playing standard. There's no crazy like rush into Fleet Beacon, into Mothership, into Tempest, into like double Stargate, like Phoenix Rain. None of that. No cannon rush open. No, none of that. Just triple Oracle into a 3rd base, into Blink, into Control, into Win. It's what herO does best. It's what he does best. And this is also not a bad map for that kind of style, as we're loading into Leylines. Let's go. Here we go. As we embrace the final game of the series, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Leylines, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. clawing his way back into this. Can he pull off the reverse sweep as he comes back from a 2-0 deficit? He's crazy. He is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg representing Gaiman Gladiators. Down, or I should say, he was up 2-0. He has been one game away from winning the entire tournament for so long. Still is, but momentum has been stripped away. Can he bounce back? It is SHIN. Here we go. Este Paquito in the chat. Ay, ay, ay. We just need herO doing 2-base, Zealot charge push into double forge. You're an animal, Paquito. You're an animal. Ay, ay, ay. Good to see you, though. Good to see you. Ah, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Good to see you. Bienvenidos, papi. Bienvenidos. Always good to see you. Always good to see a friendly face in the chat. For those that are curious, Paco Mike, at one point he was the best Protoss player in Latin America. Was the best Protoss player in Latin America. Since then, you know, he's hung up his side blades. You know, he has since retired. He's taken a step back. We haven't seen Paco Mike compete in quite some time, but always great to see him in the chat. ¿Qué tal, papi? ¿Qué tal? Aha. Good to see you. Feliz Año Nuevo, papi. Feliz Año Nuevo. Happy New Year. And also, good morning. I want some El Doritos. Oh, no. Don't tempt me with some food. I'm starving. I'm starving. Ay, ay, ay. What time is it right now? It is... Gee, it's almost 7 p.m. When did the time... How long have we been casting? 8 hours. No, it's been an 8-hour cast. I haven't even had breakfast, papi. Oh my god, we've been just casting all day. I'm starving. It's all good. I'll be able to get. It does mean that I won't be able to sleep. Most likely, I don't think I'll be able to sleep before the podcast, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm gonna go get some food later. I'll make some ramen, some SHIN ramen, if you will. With an egg and some cheese. It's gonna be beautiful. Okay. I'll get my head out of SHIN, and we'll focus on our final game. So for now, we're gonna be settling in Hatchgas Pool Standard Opener out of SHIN. Likewise, it's gonna be a Stargate Opener out of herO. So far, everything looking as it should. I had ramen tonight. Oh, let's go. Este Fractal. I'm celoso. I'm jealous, papi. I'm jealous. With some chicken. Oh, okay. Okay. I see you. Some chicken ramen. "24-hour stream hype. Let's go." No shot. No shot. I would like some food. Would be good. Would be good. As interesting. Okay, so here he opens up Oracle. That is true. That is standard. But the follow-up, it's going to be Oracle into Void Ray. Now, the power of a Void Ray here in the early game of ZVP is specifically denying vision. It should be to hunt down these overlords and to make sure that SHIN doesn't know what's going on. This doesn't mean it has to be like some kind of crazy hidden tech into like a second Stargate, into a Fleet Beacon, into Skytoss. I mean, it could be, don't get me wrong, but it could also be a Twilight Council Declave Adepts. It could also be a Forged Twilight Council +1 Blink Stalker standard opener, right? It could be standard play, it could be more chaotic, crazy, unorthodox play. The point here is to just keep SHIN in the dark, to keep him guessing. Behind this SHIN going for an early Evo Chamber. This should be for +1 melee. This is the first sign that tells us that SHIN intends to skip Roaches and he intends to go into Ling Hydra. As you typically don't get an early early Evo Chamber if you want to go into +1 range. So it should be melee. Should be melee upgrades here out of SHIN. There's that Twilight Council follow-up. We're waiting for the Forge. There it is. The Forge is on the way. There's that melee that we spoke about. Again, you typically do not rush into +1 range, just melee into stronger Lings to be able to maintain themselves into Ling Hydra production. Ooh, SHIN gets supply blocked. Oh my god, 7 Overlords on the way. That is a brutal supply block for SHIN. Forced to make 7 Overlords. For now, resaturating, re-establishing his bases, getting a 4th base momentarily. And we should soon be seeing that lair into gases, into Hydras. Technically, this could be Ling into Muta. True, this could be Spire play. We're still just waiting for the lair. There it is. Lair is now on the way. Oracles, they poke in. So far, they are deflected. Now, with this kind of style here, if herO were to go for a 3-base all-in, SHIN is very vulnerable. The reason for this, as we mentioned, the reason why we get plus on melee is to make these Lings more robust because there's no Roach Warren. Ooh, but we are going for a 530 Roach Warren. A later Roach Warren, but a Roach Warren nonetheless. Which means if herO was going for an all-in, SHIN would be relatively safe. He would have at least some Roach production available to him. As we can see, herO is not going all in. herO is rushing into a bay. Okay. That's going to be +1 blink into Immortal production, into a bay, into Colossus. Okay, I see you. So we're going to be rushing into something more tech heavy, into earlier Colossus production. As the Void Ray does take down the Gas Geyser, herO, he pulls away. Does pull away. SHIN is poking in. We spoke earlier, there's that Hydra Den. Again, plus on melee, into Ling Hydra. The Roach Warren is just for safety. SHIN is being active. And I'm sure SHIN won't be expecting the fast Colossus. Yo, Bay first. Sorry, Prison first. War Prison first here out of herO. To harass across the map. Lings are trying to poke in. herO, so far, he's secure. Bearing in mind, herO has been skipping warp-ins in favor of all this tech, so very much so a smaller Stalker army in favor of Colossus, in favor of Extento Lance. Into Templar Archives, he's teching very hard, actually. Teching very hard into Archons, into potentially Storm as well. Oracles, they do poke into the main. They get the Revelation, they get eyes on the Hydras. herO knows. And herO, he may just stay at home. Initially, I thought he was going to be going for like a Colossus timing, for like maybe 2 Colossus and +2, but no, yeah, he's getting a 4th. herO, he's being more defensive, getting a 4th base, turtling up, taking into Colossus, into Storm, into +2. The Archives is now done. And here he's chilling, which means SHIN gets away with Ling Hydra. For the most part, SHIN did waste some resources here on Roaches, but if SHIN wanted to, he could take up into Infestation Bit, into Hive Tech, into Lurkers. Speaking of, as if on cue, Infestation Bit's on the way. That'll be for Hive Tech, that'll be for the Lurkers. And SHIN is safe to do so. He is safe to do so. As there is no sign of aggression from herO. SHIN coming in from multiple angles, setting up a surround. Lings, oh no, the wall's not a wall. Lings, they flood into the main. And SHIN hits the 4th. And the 4th base is going to be denied. Diving on top of the Colossus. Colossus is exposed. It does survive, does pull away in time, but that's going to be a kill, not a cancel on the Nexus. A Void Ray goes down as well, and SHIN is pulling herO apart. And he wants a Colossus. Doesn't quite get it. Lings, they bust into the main. They don't quite get much damage done though. herO holds. But he's stuck on 3 bases. It's contained. Now, thankfully, here he does save his Colossus. He's getting a 3rd Colossus as we speak. Archons are morphing in. No Storm yet, just High Templar and Archons. And here he's just trying to establish his center expansion. Prism has arrived. Here he's pushing. And I spoke earlier about the Lurker tech, and we could have had Lurkers earlier, but if you remember, SHIN, he did spend a lot of resources on Roaches. SHIN, he's not actually ready for this. Without Lurkers, this is going to be a tough hold for SHIN. Here he does move forward. Lings, they go for a run by. Decent concave here from SHIN. Is it going to be enough? As here, he's up to 3 Colossus. Jesus, he's just going to mow his way through. The Hydras, they do nothing. No Lurkers. The Lurker production is delayed. It is too late. And with 3 Colossi here, he's breaking through. Yeah, the lasers. Oh god, they just melt the Hydras. They melt the Lings as well. SHIN, he's trying to hold on. Stasis goes up. And he can't get on top of the Colossus. He cannot touch them. 1 Colossus almost goes down, but almost is not good enough. And herO, he does it. He breaks through the defensive line. And SHIN not quite able to take up in time. Didn't quite recognize what was going on. Wasn't ready for the Colossus. You could argue spent too many Lings across the map or invested too heavily into that initial move out. And now he's down in supply. He's down in army supply. Down in economy. Down in tech. The Vipers are on the way. But it's too late. It's too late for the Vipers, and herO, he has done it. The reverse sweep. He pulled it off. He was able to be hyper aggressive and flex his blink control in game 3 and game 4, and here in game 5, it's all about the Colossus, the laser spike with the death ball of an army, showing that he doesn't just have to play with blink stalkers. He's more than that. He's the best Protoss in South Korea. Takes down the mineral line. GG gets called as herO. He snowballs out of control, and herO will be this week's OlimoLeague 235 champion. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, a much more tech-heavy defensive style out of herO, just turtling up, chilling out, building up his death wall of an army, building up his Colossus. Again, SHIN, he misread the situation. He did invest into roaches, did invest in an early Ling move out as well, did invest quite hard into being aggressive, but alas, that just meant, of course, that he did delay his own tech himself, his own hive, his own vipers, or his own lurkers. Pick your poison, regardless of which it would have been. Both would have been ideal in that defense. Alas, SHIN did delay all of that tech in favor of more roaches and more hydras. Wasn't worth it in the end. Did crumble before the might of herO. GG. GG, well played. The reverse sweep, very impressive. Very rare sight as well. It is very difficult to pull off a reverse sweep. I mean, imagine the mindset when you're down a game, when you're down 2 games in a best of 5. Things are looking bleak, things are looking dim, things are looking dark. But no, herO, he saw the light, saw the light, made his way through. GG, well played. Well played. Oh my god. With that, herO does claim the series. And we can quickly have a look at the bracket and have a look at the progress, the journey of our players. There we go. We had the PvPs, of course. If you missed out, I recommend the VODs. I do recommend the VODs. There were a lot of amazing matches here. There were a lot of very fun PvPs as well. We had a Hearthstone popping off, taking down Classic. We had a Geralt popping off, taking down Trigger. herO, of course, made his way through. Zan flexed his own PvP prowess as well. Honestly, it was a very close PvP between Zan and herO. Went all the way to the ace match, went all the way to game 3, as you saw. Could have gone either way. We could have seen either Protoss in the finals. In the end, it was herO. Likewise, we had the lower half of the bracket. We had players like ryung flex his TVT. ryung, he had his way with Byun. ryung arguably has the best TVT in the world. He was able to flex that over Byun. Likewise, we had a very fun match between Skillous and SHIN. We had Percival pop off against Mana. Also went all the way to the ace match. Very close back and forth. Rex was able to also have a showcase against Percival as well. We had SHIN, we had ryung, Percival, many other players, many other competitors. We had a full round of 32, but we only casted a couple of matches in that round of 32 as well. If you recall, Gumiho was in the tournament. He got knocked out before the round of 16 at the hands of Classic. A lot of really good matches, a lot of really fun series. There's a reason why this cast has been going on for 8 hours. It's been a lot. It's been it's been a lot of content. It's been a lot of StarCraft. I'll be honest, I wasn't sure if I could make it through. After the round of 32, my voice was straining. I'll be honest, my voice was I was reaching my limit, but we had a 5-minute break. I was able to get some lovely tea. I was able to some tea with some honey. That's my secret weapon. My throat got looped up, and we were good to go to just embrace the round 16 into the quarterfinals, into the semis, into the grand finals as well. 8 hours casting. Give me 8 more, papi. I'm joking. I'm starving. I would like some breakfast. It's 7 p.m. Crazy. GG, well played. For those that are curious here as to what's been going on in the Cranky Ducklings and how busy we've been, before this tournament, before the cast, we were actually busy adminning the thermal 2v2 circuits. We weren't casting the events, we were adminning. It was myself, it was herO, it was Kerwin. We had a team of 3 covering that event. It was very intense, a lot of matches, a lot of players getting involved, a lot of new players as well. So we spent the entire morning adminning. I think that was like 6 hours. We spent like 6 hours adminning. Then I got to sleep for 2 hours, and then bam, here we are. Then we started casting OlimoLeague. And now we're done. And fun fact, I believe we have another 2 hours. So we have a 2-hour break. So I'm gonna go get some food. I'm gonna go get some rest and not speak for 2 hours and rest up my voice. And in 2 hours, we have the podcast. If you're curious, what exactly is the podcast? The podcast is a weekly talk show, a weekly podcast related to StarCraft, where we just go over all the events of the week, all the tournaments, all the news, whether it's player swaps, team signings, content being released like interview series, TLMC, balance patches, our opinion of that, of course, map pool, and many other, all the news in StarCraft of the week. But this is a weekly show, but we took some time off. Because of the holidays, we took off Christmas Day, we took off New Year's Eve, so it's been 2 weeks. And what does that mean? That means we may have stopped the podcast for 2 weeks, but StarCraft did not. We have a lot of catching up to do. We have a lot of tournaments have been taking place, a lot of events have been held in the interim of those 2 weeks throughout Christmas and New Year's. That means we have a lot of catching up to do, so it's probably going to be a longer podcast today, a longer podcast. So best of luck. I'm going to be joined by Yaku, of course, and by Kuro. Kuro handles the production, and Yaku is my lovely co-host as well, going over all of the content of the week. Speaking of, I should message him, actually. So here we go. Otherwise, if you want some more StarCraft action, tomorrow in less than 24 hours, we're going to be casting the Home Story Cup group stage, Group C. For those that are curious, Home Story Cup was back in December, and we were the B stream. We were the official B stream for Home Story Cup, but 3 matches were happening at once in the group stage, and there was only the main stream and the B stream, so basically a third of the group stage never got casted, so we're just catching up on those replays. We already casted the remainder of Group A and Group B, and basically we are casting the matches that never got casted in Group C. So that is going to be the plan for tomorrow, followed by the OlimoLeague Cup. There's the OlimoLeague Cup on Thursday. On Friday is going to be Master Coliseum. Saturday and Sunday as well, the playoffs of Master Coliseum. We have the KSL on Saturday, and potentially the 2v2 circuit replay cast as well. I did mention that we did focus on adminning it this morning, but we may be able to catch some of those replays and have a cheeky cast later on. It's hard to say. I did say that I wanted to take 2025 a little bit easy. We had like 495 casts in 2024, and I want to slow things down a little bit and actually rest and actually, you know, spend some time not purely casting, but we'll see. January is very busy. January is very busy for us. Maybe we can have some free days in February. Maybe. Oh no. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We do appreciate it. If you want to help support the Cranky Ducklings, you can do so a couple different ways. You can do so via subscribing. You can subscribe here on Twitch. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can follow us all over the place. ! Socials in the chat, where you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Discord. We have TikTok. We have Mastodon. We have Blue Sky. All things Cranky Ducklings we post whenever we go live. We also upload VODs on a daily basis on YouTube, and we also stream all over the place. We stream on Twitch, we stream on YouTube, we stream on TikTok, we make YouTube shorts, all the content's all over the place. Plenty of StarCraft here on the Cranky Ducklings. If you want to support us in a different way, you can do so via Patreon. You can see here under Shin's name, we have our Patreon. All the money on our Patreon goes towards our tournaments. We do host tournaments on a weekly basis. We have been taking some time off, again, because of New Year's and because of Christmas, but our tournaments will be coming back, don't you worry, at the end of January. Sparkling Tuning Cup, Tenacious Turtle Tussle, Master Swan Open, Sea Duckling Open. Our tournaments are coming back at the end of the month, and they're all funded via Patreon. And if you want to support the Patreon, if you want to support these tournaments, you can do so via the command in the chat. So we do appreciate the support that we do gain there, that we gain from there. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. We do appreciate it. I'm going to go get some food. I'm going to go get some rest for like a couple of hours, and then bam, we're back on the channel. Let's go. Meanwhile, anything else I'm forgetting? I do stream every now and then on my personal channel, @light_VIP. You can actually click the link on the Twitch title. But as you can imagine, if I'm casting like today, I don't have time to ladder on my personal channel. So I'm very rarely live on my personal channel. I just don't really have a lot of time to ladder or to stream. But whenever I find some time to do so, I will be live over on light_VIP. I do not ladder on the Cranky Ducklings. We do preserve this channel just for casting, for team content, for team games, for podcasts. that sort of thing, not for individual ladder sessions. We leave that for the personal streams. We leave the smoging for the personal streams, Fappy. Oh my god. So if you're interested, you can follow me there. I might be able to stream maybe next week. Maybe it's a hard. We have a lot of casting takes priority. Casting takes priority. Streaming less so. But personal streams, I should say, less so. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We do appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you're curious about OlimoLeague, this tournament is amazing, and it is a weekly tournament. Every single week, we cast OlimoLeague here on the channel. We cast it via replays. This event did occur a couple of hours ago over on Chijik. Chijik is a different streaming platform. It's a Korean streaming platform, and they are the main sponsors, so it can only be streamed live on the Korean platform, not on Twitch. That's why we only have replay casts on Twitch. We actually used to cast it live on Chijik, but as I'm sure many people are watching right now, I'm sure you did not tune into our channel there. Again, it is very much so Korean focused. It is not friendly to international viewers. So even though we were casting it live at the time, no one was watching. Like, we had very, very low viewership. So we were like, you know what? Maybe it's not worth it. Maybe we forego casting it live and we just do a replay cast on Twitch and YouTube instead, and actually, you know, get people to watch it. So there you go. There you go. Like, technically we could cast it live, but you know, that you wouldn't watch it. So so there you go. There you go. So instead we do replay casts here on Twitch instead. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We're going to be heading on off, and we'll see you guys in 2 hours with some more StarCraft. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who do we send everyone over to? I see Sort of is live at the moment. Thriving GG is live. Who else is live? Let's see. Who else is streaming? Smile is playing Majora's Mask. Code Bar is live. Apoptosis is playing Warhammer. You know what? We'll give some love to Sort. Sort of, he's a nice guy. He raids us from time to time. Good guy. Give him some love. And with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.